We are going to focus on today model integration. So we can incorporate various Autodesk products into one model for a final design output. So we can take civil engineering design, reality capture, field survey, geospatial data, pull them into one multidiscipline model, and then take it out and create our construction documents, do any visualization we need to do, or any type of presentation options we need to do. So we're really talking about integrating all these different types of software and how we can utilize them to do so. We're going to be focusing on 3 products today. The first is going to be Autodesk Recap. The second is going to be Autodesk InfraWorks. And the third is going to be Autodesk AutoCAD Civil 3D. So first let's talk about Recap. It kind of comes in 3 different options. We've got Recap, Recap Pro, and Recap 360. And each of these different products do different things within them. But for the most part, Recap is a point cloud software for laser scanning. So it supports formats from all major 3D laser scanning manufacturers. We can do point cloud editing, cleaning, and survey data insertion into our point clouds. It also does photorealistic data visualization. So we can do a full 3D or panoramic scan viewing. We can just digitize, with a digital camera, we can take images of our project. We can send those images to the cloud, and Recap will recreate a point cloud for us within the program. So that is a very cool feature within Recap. We can also do laser scan publications, so we can share our laser scans for viewing and collaboration within the project. And then we can also do point cloud data alignment. We can combine many different types of laser scans into one single model so that we don't have to have a bunch of different laser scans. We can combine them into one. So from Recap, we can take it, we can do any editing we need to do to our point cloud, and then we can take pieces or the entire point cloud and transport it seamlessly into other Autodesk applications such as InfraWorks or Civil 3D. So first let's talk about InfraWorks. InfraWorks and InfraWorks 360, they are data-rich design concepts that we can create within these programs. So they're 3D modeling and visualization tools for civil engineers and urban planners, and it can be a small or large-scale project of all types. It offers foundational sketching and modeling capabilities for creating 3D models. We can utilize CAD, 3D models, GIS, raster data, and quickly build a model out of all of these things that we can pull in all together. We can sketch roads, buildings, bridges, water features, and just work with these things and see our project as a whole. We can also create multiple proposals within InfraWorks, so if we have different options for our project, we can create those different options all within one model and easily view them. So business solutions within InfraWorks. We can create our models in the context of today's environment. So we can take a real life city or whatever it might be and just create a project within that city. We can quickly and easily explore multiple design alternatives to ensure we're making the right choice for our project. We can make smarter decisions about how our model will perform using analytics and simulations so that our project doesn't go over budget. We can optimize our project as much as we can conceptually before taking it out into a final product. We can also share our designs in the cloud with internal and external stakeholders. Even ones who aren't on the technical side, they can easily understand models within InfraWorks to actually see the project in real life, and you're able to show them that, which is very cool. Okay, so for those of you who have used InfraWorks before, there are some new features within this new release. A few that I'm going to cover today are the immersive user interface, the model builder, the roadway design, bridge and drainage design new features, and the corridor optimization features. So you'll notice within the new user interface, it looks a little bit different. The tools, instead of the ribbon that we had before, they're now grouped together into kind of just little bubbles at the top, so that we have, it's kind of like a flyout version. So each of these different windows has a flyout that we can choose from, and it's just more streamlined that way. We can also click on an object and it will pull out a thing called an asset card, so we can view and edit the object properties of that object within that asset card. So that's a pretty cool new feature too. What I think is the most convenient new feature within InfraWorks is now we have this thing called the model builder. And it will package terrain data, photo imagery, and existing building and roadway data into one package, so that we don't have to go and find all of these things ourselves and pull them together and make sure that they're on the right coordinates. It was a very time-consuming process before to have to do all of this ourselves. Now we can just click on an area that we want to build our model in, and it will pull all of this stuff together for us. So I think that's very convenient. New things within roadway design, we can do roadway zones, where we can show transitions between lanes and those types of things. There's also some new bridge design features. We can do bridge sections, concrete and steel piers we can do within the program. There's also some drainage design features. There's culverts now, and it also can delineate watersheds for you. So those are some new features within there too. The corridor optimization features have also been enhanced a little bit also. So after we get our conceptual design kind of finalized, we can quickly and easily pull that out into Civil 3D or other applications also, so that we can work on our final design and our final product. So Civil 3D is a fairly, it's been around a while. But each year they do have some new features within Civil 3D, so I'll talk a little bit about what those new features are. They really have optimized the transportation design workflow, so we have greater efficiency with the corridor, profile, and production drafting options there. So we're going to focus on user experience, detailed engineering, production drafting, and collaboration. So with the user experience, we do have some updated features here. You'll notice that the interface is kind of a new, darker, more modern look to it. We also have enhanced drawing feedback, and what I mean by that is there's a feature called the lasso, where we can actually select by simply clicking and holding down the mouse. We can do a selection in an irregular pattern so that we don't have to just make a box to select things. We can actually draw like a little circle or a lasso around what we want to select, which makes things very, very handy. There's also dense geometry will automatically fade when we zoom in and out. We can preview the results of commands like trim, extend, break, and match properties so that we can see what's going to happen before we actually complete the command. The point cloud engine has been updated to improve performance to allow us to work with much larger point clouds. So that's nice. Some of the design enhancements that are in Civil 3D now. With profiles, we can now extend curves and tangents to the profile extents. There are a couple different new curve options within the curve creation tools for profiles. We can create a free curve using a pass-through point, which is pretty handy. We can also use a profile locking feature that helps identify which vertical elements within the profile are impacted as a result of a horizontal alignment change. So we're working with a dynamic object model that maintains relationships between objects. And it helps us, the user is notified when vertical elements are impacted, so it helps us to quickly determine which areas of the roadway may require additional attention. Also within corridors, we have a few enhancements there also. We can dictate the corridor frequency on both the baseline and the targets. This gives us the ability to produce a more detailed model. The corridor targets can be retained when substituting a subassembly. So basically, if we change our subassembly, it will keep those targets and we don't have to go back and reinsert them. Also, Subassembly Composer has been updated so that it will build custom subassemblies more easily. Improvements include support for voids and shapes, axis of rotation, and rail cant. So these engineering improvements in 2015 greatly increase our flexibility and efficiency when doing our detailed design. Also, in production drafting, there's a few enhancements here. With annotation, when we're inserting labels for our corridor points, it will actually stagger our labels so that we don't have them on top of each other. We can reassociate surface and alignment labels to different Civil 3D source objects, so that increases our flexibility. We can also slice solids. So this picture at the bottom here is actually a slice of that bridge, and we can pull that and put it into our profile. And that's just with a couple of clicks. So this enables us to deliver our plans more efficiently. Also, collaboration has been enhanced within Civil 3D. So we can now export our Civil 3D model objects to a .kml format. What this means is we can export our model geometry in a format that can be displayed in Google Earth. So that's a very good feature. We can also export DWG and DGN enhancements have been made. The export operation can now be performed on one or a folder full of files, so you can do more than one file at a time. Finally, there is consistency between Civil 3D 2013, 2014, and 2015 model formats. So what that means is we can open and edit Civil 3D 2015 drawings back in 2013 drawings or 2014. So civil infrastructure projects are typically large and they can span multiple years of being planned and designed. So having consistency with prior versions expands our options when collaborating, and it also lessens the impact of deploying a newer release. So that's very, very helpful within 2015. Without further ado, I'm going to go into a little demonstration of each of these products. We're going to look at Recap, InfraWorks, and Civil 3D. So first I'm going to start in Recap. So you'll notice when you first open up Recap, you have an option to start a new project, and you'll also have the option to import. If there's nothing open yet, you can import a raw survey file data or point file data. And that's what I did here. I just imported a raw TXT file, and this is what I got for my point cloud. So you can see different options here for selection. I can do a window and select my objects, or I can do a fence to select objects. So there's different ways to select my objects. I can also do some measurements of distance and angles and add notes and those types of things in here. So if I just wanted to put a little distance across the dock here, that shows me how far that distance is. Some other options up here, I can import and export. I can change the settings and the units within my drawing. And those will update automatically if I change the units or the coordinates. Those will quickly and easily update. I can change the color scheme. Like here we have an elevation view, so this shows just the point cloud as different elevations. As they go up, they're different colors. I can change the intensity. Normal is an option. Scan location is an option. So it's just a different way to view your point cloud and look at it. There's also different lighting that we can do, single, double, so it kind of just shines light in different ways on your point cloud. We can shade in different ways, and we can do edge highlighting. So if we do happen to cut a plane through this or just analyzing and looking at different ways of this point cloud, we can highlight the edges if we want to. There's also different ways to display the points. If I want to make the points bigger, I can also update the origin of the point cloud. And I can do types of things with annotation, measuring, and notes. So this is just a different way to get to what we had down here. There's also options for windowing, panning, orbiting, and it shows you here. As you can see, Recap is very quick and easy to use. The buttons are very big, and there's not very many buttons. So it's very user-friendly and easy to learn and easy to use. You can also set up different scan regions and different views. I happen to create a view state here, and it's just focusing in on one of these boats. So I'm just taking one of these boats and clipping everything else out of it. You're not removing the points, you're just clipping things out and focusing in on what you want to see. So I'm actually going to take this boat and pull it out into InfraWorks. And for the sake of time, I actually already did export it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up InfraWorks. And now, as you look at the Startup menu of InfraWorks, you'll see that we have a few different options here. If you're logged on to Autodesk 360, you'll see that you can download some online models. You can collaborate between different groups. So there are different InfraWorks groups that you can coordinate and look at other people's models. And like I talked about before, we now have this model builder. So if I click on that, it opens up a map, and I can just zoom into any area I want to see to create the elevation imagery, roads and highways and buildings. So it's just that easy to get the area that I want to pull into my model. I'm going to go ahead and open up LaGuardia Airport here. And these are all of those were the previous models that I opened. So if I go to a bookmark here, I can zoom right into my yacht. So I pulled in this point cloud, and there it is. And I can put it anywhere I want to. I just happen to choose this spot right here. So you can do that with any type of point cloud. I just thought it would be fun to do it with this boat and put it on the water. You can do it with, roadways or buildings or whatever you might have in your point cloud. So as you can see here, by the way, this model I created here was just with that model builder. I didn't really do anything else. The only thing that I added were the boat there, and then I added a couple planes right here just to kind of show you that those are types of things that you can add. So, I didn't have to do much work at all. It pulled in all of these roads, it pulled in all of these buildings, and there are some editing that you need to do, like there needs to be a bridge over that instead of a bumpy road there, but for the most part, it gets you started, so it's very nice. I'm going to go ahead and open up another model so that I can show you a roadway design. So as you can see, we've got these bubbles up here. It has all of the same stuff the old InfraWorks had, except it's just displayed a little bit differently. Like here is where I can get to my data sources to show all my different data there. And just all the same things that I had before are now within this, they're grouped together differently. I can go to my roadway design and create roadways here. I now have highway roads, which is a new feature. And then also the bridge design. There's a steel plate girder bridge and a precast girder bridge. So those are some different options I have there. I can create my storyboards and those types of things with this button, and then set my settings and utilities with this button. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom to a bookmark I have here. So here is a road. It's a design road that I have created. When I click on it, you can see I have my asset card here, which is a nice handy little tool that we have now. So all I'm going to do to get this road into Civil 3D is just export to IMX, and for the sake of time I already have it done, but when I export to IMX I just click the area, I just kind of create a polygon around the area I want to pull out. And then when I switch to Civil 3D, I can open that up. So you'll see the startup page here in Civil 3D. We have an option for starting a new drawing, opening a drawing, and then we also have our recent documents here. It just looks a little bit different than it used to. So I'm going to click on my last drawing I had open here. So as you can see, it looks a little bit different. It's got this darker, more modern display. And you'll notice all of like the properties panel is dark too. So it kind of takes your eyes a little bit getting used to if you're used to seeing the white. But it is very modern looking and I think it's pretty cool. So this is the area that I created a polygon around, pulled it right out into Civil 3D. So what it did was it created this surface. This is an existing surface. It saw that terrain that was there and it built a surface off of it. It also created a proposed surface, which has to be, you know, fixed a little bit here and there, but it started a proposed surface for me. And then it also actually created an alignment along that roadway. And it will create an alignment for any roadway that you're touching. So that polygon I created actually touched these guys also. So it created alignments for those too. So a couple of the new features, like I said before, when I just hold down my mouse, I can create a lasso for selection. So I can just, it doesn't have to be just a window, which you can still do that too. But if you hold down your mouse, you can do a lasso. And then if I go the other way, it just will select what I have enclosed within there. And then like the options for the trim functionality and all of that, the preview. If I do a trim here, you can see I haven't even clicked yet and it shows me what's going to happen. It's going to go ahead and trim off that white line there. So those are some pretty handy features there. Also, I talked a little bit about the profile. There's some new profile creation tools in our geometry editor. You'll notice there are some new curves we have within here that we didn't have before, some options for creating curves. Also for corridors, there are, and also for corridors, we have the new features I discussed a little bit earlier. We can streamline the process by, if we change assemblies, we can retain our targets and our frequencies. So you see here, if I change my assembly to something different, my targets stay the same as the existing ground as it was before, and so do my frequencies. It was set to 5, and it just stays that way. So we don't have to worry about having to change those like we used to.